Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Mirage figures. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We will of course then do some display ideas with some of the other Studio Series figures that have been released in the same toy line. For a bit of fun, we'll see how he looks and compares to some other Mirage toys. And of course, we will bring in some of the other mainline figures just to give you an idea of the size and scale of this particular figure. So before we get started, I need to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please. And also to thank In Demand Toys in the UK, because that's who I purchased this from. The box looks great. I don't mind the open windows at all now, especially when you can see the figure like that. There, of course, is an image. Is that an image he wrote from the movie? I don't remember him looking exactly like that, to be honest. He looked more like the toy, funnily enough, than that. We can see he's going to take 25 steps to convert, transform, and he is an officially Porsche licensed product. So let's actually have a look at him. As I say, excited to see this guy. He came under a lot of stick as well at the beginning, because they called him Mirage and not Jazz. Simple things, same with the Wheeljack. If they just called him different names, I think none of this hassle would have ever happened. So this looks like to be the back street, I think, of perhaps where Noah lived, or one of the streets anyway. Let's have a look. We've got the instructions, etc. in there, and it looks like that's the only accessory that's coming with him. But what I need to do, as you can see, is set him free from there and come right back to you. Okay, so I've set him free from the packaging, and it's time to do some first impressions. Also, what I need to do is show you this. So you need to do a little bit of a transformation, or I suppose a little bit of a finishing touch. So this is how he comes out of the packaging. What you need to do with regards to the back, you need to very carefully fold this back and over on itself like that. And then also this part here, if you can get this, you need to turn it right under itself. So lift it back up, fold it under itself, and then push this down behind the head. But what I would suggest is be careful, A, because you saw that there, that didn't go in, and B, because of the silver paint, you might end up damaging it. There we go. That's what you're looking like. So that's how I suppose he should be properly transformed according to the instructions anyway. Right, let's have a look at him then. To be honest, I think this guy looks great. I'm really impressed with him. I mean, look at the way the reflective metallic blue paint is there on his head, with the lighter blue colour for his eyes. The silver and the gunmetal grey as well. Some of that's reflective, some of it's not. So it just looks brilliant. It will spin. Yep, it'll go all the way around. It's really tight. I mean, look at that. There's even detail on the back of the head, which you can't really see. I mean, it's completely covered up, but there's loads of detail there. It'll look up and down as well. The arms will go round. They're a little restricted, but if you move the wheels back, they can pretty much spin around. You can see the shoulder joints moving up and down as well for even more articulation. It'll spin at the shoulder joint underneath. You've got your bicep flexion, you've got a wrist swivel. This is actually translucent plastic, which I didn't even realize at all, and it looks really good. I didn't even know that was translucent at all. It looked like smoky to me, but it is. That's obviously going to be the windows. There's the official Porsche writing. I mean, this is beautiful. The detail all around there. Feet, perhaps, if I'm being overly picky and pedantic, a little bit odd maybe. You can move all these around as well by the looks of it to display exactly how you want. There doesn't really look to be any gaps. There's a little bit of a gap there, but I mean, that's just the way it looks with regards, as I say, to that, to exactly how it looks. The scene, I think, as I say, that's outside. Well, it's down one of the streets, isn't it? Whether or not it's outside Noah's flat or not, I don't know. That doesn't look too bad, but I'm not going to dwell on that too much. And we've got the blaster there as well. Right, that's it for first impressions. Let's have a look at him in his alternate mode. Okay, then we're back, and we're pretty much into his alternate mode, but I've got to apologize again. Obviously, no transformation process on this video, and the main reason for this is exactly the problem that I keep having. I didn't realize it was such a common problem, but I've spoke to a few people since this. It just is awful to clip together. So what I've managed to do is I've got this side all clipped in, which is such a shame because it looks absolutely beautiful. I'm going to spend about 30 or 40 seconds trying to clip it in. If I can't get it in, I'm going to pause the video and then I'm going to do it off camera, because I don't want to waste any more of your time. Because what the problem, or what the issue is getting this. There's a tab there which has to clip on the inside of this, and as I say, it's just so awkward to get into. You've got to really apply some pressure in it. In the transformation process video, I just about managed to get it, and I think, if I'm being honest, there you can see that tab there, that cutout rather. This is, I mean, I've transformed and tried to transform this figure more than any other figure that I've even played with, or, you know, messed around with for a video this year. It is just to try and make it, see if it's any easier, to try and see if it loosens off, and it just doesn't. It just really is insanely difficult to get in. And I made a joke in the transformation process video. I said phobia instead of FOMO. FOMO, obviously fear of missing out. This is phobia, fear of breaking it, because this is all translucent plastic. This should be clicking into there, and I mean, I'm applying a lot of pressure on that, but you can see it just it's still not going in. And as I say, I am genuinely worried that I'm going to break it. I've got this side in, so I want to show you from this side. And again, it's a show. I mean, it is beautiful. Look at that. It is, of course, licensed by Porsche, like it says on the back, so it looks stunning. But I've wasted probably about a minute. I'm going to do it quickly off camera, and we're going to have a look at it properly. I am going to have to apologise, guys. I just cannot get it in. And I mean, I've took it apart again. I've built it back up. And unfortunately now, I'm really gutted to show you that I've actually ended up sort of cracking the windscreen by applying so much pressure, and it just won't go in. So for the rest of the video, I'm just going to keep it out, and we're just going to look at it this side, because when you get it in, it looks really great, and it's just such a disappointment. You can store the weapon. See them two cutouts underneath? You can store this in there. I mean, the only saving grace that I've got for this figure and for myself is I'm going to be displaying him in robot mode, and you can't even see that back window. But that's really annoyed me, to be honest. It's beautiful. I mean, look at it. It's so good compared to some of the other figures, deluxe sort of scale size. It's obviously nowhere near as big as a drag strip. It's a little bit bigger than this. And I do really think that they've gone to town and made such an effort with this alternate mode, with the fact, obviously, it is the first officially licensed, I suppose, Porsche product ever since they made their decision not to be associated with warring robots, which I'm sure was the quote that I read years and years ago on these particular, when there was loads of people asking for a masterpiece jazz figure. I'm sure that was the quote from Porsche themselves as to why we still hadn't got a masterpiece jazz, and I'm sure it was something to do with that. Again, it looks great. I'm going to very quickly just pop it up on there. And then, just because I wanted to again, and I'm going to show you this in the next part, for the people who didn't know, or the people who wonder why there was so much confusion and why he was called Mirage, because this is generation 1 Mirage's alternate mode, which I know he did a very brief, you know, maybe what, 2 seconds, I suppose, cameo of it in the movie. And of course this, funnily enough, that is Jazz's alternate mode from G1. So you can see where the confusion was, and you can see why people were miffed over it. But there you go. There's not much more to say. In fact, I'm going to show you it properly. I know I'm a little bit annoyed with it, but all the wheels are on 4 pins, so it goes no problem whatsoever. The head, you can see there, I've tucked away the gun. The detail is brilliant, even to the point that they've got the detail there on the spoiler as well. As I say, the translucent windows, they're not too bad. You can just about see a few things in it. It is like a smoky sort of translucent colour, but this is just, yeah, you can see that little cutout there. In fact, I'm going to show you, because I'm going to change it back to robot mode anyway. So, and you've probably seen the transformation process. What we are trying to do is get this tiny little tab there, that one just below my fingernail right now, into the cutout that is on that there. And as I say, I've applied numerous amounts of pressure to the point where I've broken that and really annoyed myself with it. But I'm going to transform him back now to robot mode for the final time, and because that's the way I'm going to be displaying him. Okay, then back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and let's see how we can attach his blaster. So this very simply looks like it's just going to fit onto the forearm like so. Very reminiscent of the Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee cannons as well. It doesn't look too bad, it looks okay, but I'm going to, even though there's no real need to, because I'm pretty sure he never posed with his weapon with this particular backdrop. If I'm wrong, obviously correct me in the comments, because I don't mind being corrected if I'm wrong. Obviously it looks okay, but of course you can put any blaster that you want in there. For some reason I've got a Generation 1 Sandstorm figure, and typically that is a smaller one. I thought it was going to be a 5mm peg, but it's not. I've just dropped in, I'm going to pick it out and put it in. This is a drag strip weapon, of course, from Legacy, but because it's 5mm port, it will still tab in, and it will look, and it does look good. So you can use any weapon that you want from any of the toy lines, of course, because it is 5mm, which is industry standard for these. Now I'm just going to turn this to the side. I do very quickly just want to show you this, like I did with the alternate mode. Let's show you again, just for a bit of fun, and again I suppose just to solidify why there was a little bit of an uproar with regards to the fact that they called him Mirage. Absolutely nothing like him, which is fine. And funnily enough, I've got a Magic Square, no, an Iron Factory Mirage there as well. So there you go, he is nothing like that obviously, but again, just wanted to show you that. Right, let's have a look at him with some of the other Studio Series figures. So he is quite a small deluxe. I know this is a Voyager class figure, but I'm just bringing him next to it. Bumblebee is smaller, of course, because Bumblebee is one of the smallest. Let's bring in some of the Maximals with him. So we've got, I've got the new one as well, so I can bring this in. So we've got Leader class and Voyager class. They're huge, aren't they, compared to him? I've got the other two as well, but even the deluxe one you're about to see in a second, that's got to be one of the biggest deluxe figures I think I've ever seen, to be fair. And there, of course, is Voyager Cheetor. Funnily enough, I've got Nightbird. That's a small deluxe figure. Let's see how she compares with him. Yeah, you can really tell there just how small she is. She's very small. And last few... is he going to fall over? Last few Rise of the Beasts sort of comparisons for you. And Freezer, that is Freezer, isn't it? Sometimes I'm going to get confused with these, but I'm pretty sure that's Freezer. I just wanted to make sure that all of his limbs were attached. He looks great, but as I say, I mentioned in the other segment, if the transformation process had been just a little bit easier, it would have been an absolutely ideal figure. But I still really like it. I think it's great. As I say, display wise, I'm just, obviously, I don't anyway, I'm not going to spend much time converting it, but obviously if this is for a child or for someone who's going to be playing with it, shall we say, that will be a tiny disappointment. That is him with the New Age Prime. And let's just do some, I suppose, main line figures. In fact, funny enough, I've got to put him there because he's at the bottom. He's got to go there as well, hasn't he? It would have been a crime to not put him next to Prime. Right, let's move that out of the way and let's do some, as I say, main line and other figures to give you an idea. So if you collect G1, that's how big he is compared to Optimus. There's an original Bumblebee. Don't knock him over. There's a normal Voyager class main line, and then this guy isn't even going to fit, but I'm going to do it quickly anyway. There is Leader class Snarl. So there you go. I really think that's probably enough of the comparisons. We obviously now know we're going to be getting Wheeljack as well, which is great, and also we're going to be getting Scorponok. So there's still a few more of these just to finish off the Rise of the Beast complete line. It's going to be great. My opinion of this figure: stands, displays, looks fantastic. Only negative would be the transformation process and the fear of breaking it, but there you go. That's all I'm going to say about this guy. He looks great. Let me know what you think of him in the comments.